Hey guys, so I hope you're all doing well today. This is going to be a shorter tier list than usual, but I'm just going to be doing all the personal skills in Engage. Bit late, I know. Probably should have done to the start of the game, but you know, you want to play through the game at least once, and I'm kind of on my second playthrough finished, you know, on my weird roulette gameplay anyway. And I wanted to do that before I kind of went over them because I wouldn't have used all of them, and I kind of have a feel for how good each one is. Some of them, as you can see, will be complete trash, as there are some garbage personal skills, and there are some pretty good ones too. Don't take this as gospel, because obviously I feel like these personal skills, especially when it's only a small difference, you could have a different opinion based on how you play and whatnot, and it'll be different for each difficulty. However, I think I've got a pretty decent grasp, so let's get on with it, and it shouldn't take too long because there's not too much to go over. First of all is Divinely Inspiring, which is alear's, and adjacent allies deal +3 damage and take 1 less, which is pretty damn good, if I'm being honest. It's pretty useful. So honestly, if we're talking about in comparison to other skill abilities in Engage, personal skills, I'd probably go with S, really. Could move it down, but I think it's an S. Alabaster Duty, I think it just... No, it's trash. Is it? It's pretty garbage. It's if Vander's adjacent, this is Vander's, if he's adjacent to the Divine Dragon, +5 crit. Trash. Okay? Trash. 5 crit on 1 unit. Trash. Get out of here. To both of them, oh my god, it's OP. No. Trash. Okay, Verdant Faith. +10 hit to Divine Dragon and Clan. Better, because that hit, +10 hit from spells, ensuring it, pretty good. Crit, I think, can often be better than hit, but at 5, no, because the 5 crit, like, are you really gambling to get extra crits with 5? Not really. I used it on the first level and maybe the second Vanders to be next to alear and try and get alear to get all the kills and crit, but did it make a difference? No. Clans will sometimes come in handy for, you know, ensuring kills and whatnot with either of them. And also the fact that you can attack 2 range with clan and then attack with 1 range from alear. Pretty decent. Especially at the start of the game. So put it in C still, but because it's trash late game. Crimson Cheer, I'd say it's also in C tier for me. +10 hit to, +10 avo to Fram and the Divine Dragon. Yeah, it's fine. But is it anything to shout about? Not really. Is it anything to cheer about? Not really. But it's not complete trash. Alfred's Self-Improver. Garbage. Trash. If unit uses weight without attacking or using items, grant strength for 1 turn. Trash. Trash. Do I need to say any more? It's trash. Energized, Etier. When unit recovers HP using an item, grant strength +2 for 1 turn. Even more trash. Get it out of here. Garbage. Garbage. Boucheron. When an ally joins a chain attack with this unit in combat, unit deals +2 damage. Good. Pretty useful. B, I'd say. It's good for most of the game. Backups are very useful for ensuring hits, especially on units with higher void and whatnot. And yeah, I think it's moved to tiers. Good. Good. Gentle Flower, Saline. Actually, I'd say it's B as well. Possibly consider it A when you combo with another characters, but I'll put it in B for now. I think it is useful because healing items, especially on higher difficulties, are kind of necessary in situations, and getting that extra use is monetary value. In terms of, you know, saving vulneraries or concoctions or whatever, elixirs, I mean, because you only have to use less than you would otherwise because of the increased 50%, which is, it's nice, and it's, you know, you can use it on multiple units in a turn, and as I said, it combos really well with someone else's, which I'll talk about later, and that is a S tier combo. Admiration for Louis. If 2 female allies are adjacent within 2 spaces, this unit takes 2 less damage during combat. No, it's, I mean, it can work, It can be good, but how often is it relevant? I mean, I consider maybe put... Actually, no, it's better than these two. I'll put it in bottom of B. And what I might do is move that up. I'll think about it. We could change it a little bit once we're done with all of them. But I think this is better than the other two. And then the, you know, the Christmas Maiden Healer. Terrible. Instead of Christmas calves. But you know what? Those two. Red and green. But it's not great. Because Louis often doesn't need to take 2 less damage. Because he's going to be taking 0 on lower difficulties, not being hit, or you don't want to take 2 less damage because you want to actually get attacked and take around 1 or 2 damage from physical units. And then if you're getting hit by magic, you're probably getting hit for like 20 anyway, times 2. So who cares about the -2? You're probably dead. So on Louis, but decent. All right, Fairy Tale Folk. It's similar, but I'd say it's slightly better. If a male and female ally are adjacent within 2 space deals +2 damage during combat, that can give you that extra little push to kill a unit. Again, I don't think it's great, but you can ensure a kill you couldn't otherwise with good positioning. But, you know, forcing you to have specific units or genders or whatever of units in specific positions to get small amounts of damage, not great, but it's good enough. Jean, expertise, bang. What more can you say? It's ridiculously strong. It's probably the best. Needs a tier of its own, really. You know, villager archetype. It's OP. Bear fight, Diamant. Yeah, +15 hit on initiate for each if Diamant initiates. Good. I think it's A. I think it's A because... Actually, is it... You know what? Let's move these. Let's have these both in A. I think Fair Fight's really good because it allows you to use weapons with lower hit and ensure getting a kill. Some of these heavier weapons and whatnot, which are going to do a lot of damage, ensuring that they actually hit with Diamant when you engage is really nice. Obviously with, super heavy weapons where you're going to have to attack second, you can use a Great Axe or whatever, but it's going to be pretty useful for finishing off enemies. So it's a great skill, if you're asking me. And it doesn't matter if you're getting hit in motion times when you're initiating because you're looking to one-shot. And when you're not, it's okay to take the hit because you can be prepared for it when you're engaging combat because then you just heal them. Amber Spying Hero. Actually, I forgot what this one is. If no other units are within 1 space of unit or foe, grants hit +20 and cost of Avo -10. It's fine. It's quite easy to position for it, so I think it's better than these two, and that extra hit +20 is like ensuring the kills kind of thing, so I think it's pretty decent. It's definitely better than these twos for me. I think it's just better than Selene's on her own. Again, Selene with Citrine, because we're about to get onto her, I'll mention it, is very good, but Alquist. Jade should be first. Which is, if unit uses wait without acting or using items, grant res +2 for 1 turn. It's much better than Alfred's, because waiting for strength is kind of not very good, but waiting for res is very good. So I'll put it here, because I think if you're gonna want to be tanking with Jade. Alfred, you're not going to want to be tanking because he's trash, okay? Again, sorry to my boy, love him, but trash unit, alright? Jade, that 2 res may save her, and because she's got a decent res already, it can be pretty good for her to get that extra 2 res. So I actually think it's quite a good skill. I'll put it in high B. Is it better than Amber's? You know what I think it is, just. I think... It's hard, actually. They're pretty even. Maybe I'll do that. Right, Alquist, get behind me. When an ally within 2 spaces attack, grants strength +3 to unit for 1 turn. You know what? I think it's good. Because all you need to do is have someone block for him, basically, or just stand him near whoever's dodge tanking or tanking. And then next turn he gets a nice power boost. Doesn't need to, you know, it's not very hard to activate. It happens pretty often, even if you're not even trying to get it off, and it's good. I'll put it in A. Is it better than the Bouchers? Not quite, but it's in A. Now, one of my personal favourites. Citrene's Generosity. Now, it's weird because I don't know if it's an A, an S, and I think it just is. The only issue with it being that it's situational where Citrene needs to be damaged. And a lot of the time you'd rather use a healing item, so I'll put it in top of A. But when you don't want to use healing items and you have some financial issues in Engage and you need some money, what more could you want than the combo of Citrene and Saline? Have an elixir on Citrene, and by the way, if you have 1 health missing from like a level up, use it and it max heals everyone's around you for the usage of the elixir or whatever. Or I always like to put my cooked meals on Citrene. Munch that with Saline next to you. That's 30 health to 5 units if Citrene needs healing. So it's an extremely useful skill where it saves you a lot of money and also is just very useful. Like especially in maps where there aren't reinforcements coming and you can take your time, just put everyone, position them nicely all around Citrene, bang, stand in the middle, boom. Efficiency. I like it. Share spoils Lapis. If there's an ally within 1 space, grants hit avo plus 10 at a cost of crit minus 10. I think it's good. I'd probably put it bottom of A because I think the hit avo is really nice and it's easy to get off, so it makes her a pretty good dodge tank. I think that losing the crit isn't too bad when you're dodge tanking. However, you do often want to be killing some of them. Though sometimes you don't want to be killing because if you kill too many units that attack you, then it may result in you dying. So actually, situationally, I call that the Ryoma effect, by the way, where he crits too much and he gets hit too much due to that. So you got to be careful. Because he just wipes everyone. Yeah, I think it's in bottom of A. Pretty good skill. Next, Unakas. You know I'm putting it in S. You know I'm putting it in S there, to be honest. I think it's so good. Especially when you have Koren. But it's just, when you put it on a unit that already has good crit chance, and it's significant crit, especially with time crystals in the game, you can really abuse it. Late game, obviously, when she starts to drop off in damage a bit, it's less useful. However, basically giving yourself that extra 15 crit is just so strong. And most maps have Avo tiles, and because if she's on the Thief class, which is normally her best class, you can use other classes. Again, I use Swordmaster, it's very effective, and Wolf Knight's pretty good too. And there are a few other classes you can go for on her. It's quite versatile. I won't talk too much about Yunaka. But that extra 15 crit combined with going on the avoidance, getting that extra avoidance from being a covert, it's just a great combo. And so easy to get off, especially if you have Koren's Dragonbanes with her. Not as good on Maddening, I guess, because of the fact you don't want to be going too high on Avoid. But I've still managed to make it work by just getting, you just get very low Avoid against certain enemies. Yeah. Pretty damn good skill. Will to Win from Saphir. If unit's HP is 50% or less at start of combat, grants hit / avo plus 20 during combat. Not bad. I think I'll go here because a lot of the time there's going to be mages that are just going to hit you and kill you. But even then, they may miss that extra avoid. I haven't really tried it, and I don't know what Saphir's. I should probably check what Saphir's speed growth is and other stats, but it's not terrible. But it's situational, and sometimes you don't want to be taking a hit in the first place. If she's fighting 2 enemies, it's quite good. This is a hard one to kind of work out. I think I'd put it there. Ivy's single-minded. During combat with a foe who was also... During combat with a foe who was also unit's most recent opponent grants hit plus 20. I'm on the borderline of trash. And C. You know, it's trash. It's in trash tier. I just don't think it's a good skill. Ivy does often need extra hit, it's true, and she can tank decently and then ensure the kill after. But how often in a game are you like in a situation where Ivy's definitely going to be fighting the same unit twice? Not that much. Not that much. I often want to tank mages with her and then finish with other units. I just don't think it's a very good skill. Like, it just isn't effective most of the time, for me at least. Using it with a dance, it can be decent, especially against like a boss and you want to kill them. So maybe I'll put it in C just for that reason, because against bosses it's a useful boss killer. But otherwise, I mean, these two are pretty trash. So otherwise, I think it's quite bad. Like, it's just. Let's I don't know. Let's do that. Everything in these kind of bottom two tiers are just not very good though. Right. Blinding Flash from Kagetsu. If unit initiates combat, inflicts AVO -10 on foe. It's good. Gives him more kills. Why not? Put it there. Not quite from Zelkov. If foe initiates combat, inflicts hit -10 on that foe during combat. Even better. One of the best, I think. I think it's a great skill. Going covert. Can you hit him? No. As in, when he's a covert, as a thief, go in the terrain, dodge terrain. He's not being hit. He just isn't being hit. That reduction in hit and hit avoidance in his dodging and is increase in avoidance. He's not getting hit. It's a good skill. Is it as good as Yunaka's? Maybe, but the issue with it is on maddening, it's going to be causing you to get 0% a lot, which isn't great. However, you can still block corridors utilizing it, or block areas by just having him sit there and them not be able to go through because they can't be bothered to attack him, apart from chains. And then it's good. But, yeah. As in compared to Yunaka's, I don't know if it might just slide into S. You know, I'll put it in bottom of S. Big personality for Hortensia. I'd probably put it in A. I'm a big fan of her Sleipnir World Tree ability. I think that one's amazing. But big personality, the extra range is pretty good for like mend and whatnot, and it can come in handy for warp and rescue. You know, comboed with Micaiah, it makes it really good. I'll put it in top of A. I could consider S for it. A Rosardo's Stunning Smile. If foe's male inflicts avoidance -20 on that foe during combat. It's great. It's in A. I think I'd put it here. Consistent. A lot of male enemies to kill. And with increasing your hit chance. Why not? It's great. And 20. 20 is big with no restrictions. It's good. Disarming Sight. Not quite as good for Goldmarie. It's worse because reducing the enemy's hit in combat is like not as good as reducing their avoid, because when you're initiating combat you're going to want to be killing them. However, it's still very good for dodge tanking. So actually, you know what? It is a really, you know what? No, I'm underrating it, actually. I'm underrating Goldmarie's. It's just if foe is male. Because Rosardo's I always think of just as in terms of you initiating, because that's when it's best. But Goldmarie's dodge tanking is really good with it. You know what? S. You can make it. You know what? There. I think it's, you know, screw what I said. It's great. Right, Anna's Make a Killing. I mean, you can do cheese with it, but for a standard playthrough, the extra gold, I mean, it's fine. I don't personally like it that much. However, I can see people putting it in the really high tiers because you can just like farm gold on skirmishes and whatnot if you want to. So yeah, you can just get like infinite money. So I'll put it in A for that reason. I don't really like it personally because I like skills that actually impact how good it is to like, you know, beat the game. I'm not a big person of just like farming money and whatnot, but it's decent. Weapon insight from Linden. Now this one's actually quite good. If unit is equipped with a weapon of lower level than foes, grants crit plus 20 during combat. There are loads of good low level tomes and you can refine them, or other weapons depending on what you do with Linden, but just refine your weapon, make them really good, give them a blessing. It's going to be an amazing weapon anyway, and it's more efficient to refine lower level weapons, and bang, crit plus 20. Great skill. Top of A. Racket of Solm. Chimeras inflicts crit minus foe on foes within 3 spaces. Guess what? Trash. Trash. How often does that come into play? Not often. I have been hit by many, like 10% crits and engage. Would Chimeras have saved me? Maybe. In those situations. The nice thing about it is, you know, you don't need to do anything to activate it, and 3 spaces is a lot. But guess what? 5 crit, minus 5 crit on foes. Knightly Escort, Merrin. When 2 or more female allies within 2 spaces, grants hit / avo to +5 to unit and those allies. Good. It's a good skill. And it will go in... It will go here. I think it's a bit better than Diamants and a bit worse than Citrines, maybe. Is it worse than Citrines? It's pretty good, I think. Hit / avo, like 2 tile, just generally, just around to all your units who are female. It's pretty good. It's pretty good. It's nice. I think I'll stay there. Annette's Blood Fury. If unit's HP is not at max after combat, grants crit plus 10 as long as unit's HP stays below. Fantastic skill with Vantage and Wrath, and it's easy to get off and is consistent. Boom. S. Actually, I'm moving Linden's into S above it. I think Linden's is actually really fantastic. Right, Fagardo's Charmer. During combat with a foe who was also unit's most recent opponent, inflicts crit minus 10 on that foe. Guess what? Trash! 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 Complete and utter trash. Useless. The only time it's basically applicable is against bosses. And how often are they critting you? Not that often. Trash. Trash, 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 trash. Right, seconds. Boone. When you eat a packed lunch, there's a trigger % of luck to gain another of the same item. Trash. It's trash. It can save you a bit of money, but it's trash. So for Pandreo's party animal, it grants a bonus to hit and avoidance equal to 3 times the number of allies and foes within 2 spaces. It's fine. It's fine. You know, you can have quite a few units within those spaces and get a really big amount. But how often is it going to be applicable when there's loads of enemies? On your turn, it could be good when there's a group of enemies and it's ensuring the hit. And on the opponent's turn, it can be quite good for using him for avoid, if you have a load of allies near you. So you know what? It's fine. I'd call it a above average skill, and I'll put it top B. Curious Dance from Seedle. At start of turn, allies within 2 spaces of unit recover 10% of their max HP. It's alright. On long maps, you can just use it infinitely, actually, which makes it pretty good. It's kind of similar to Azura's. It's not bad at all, actually. I don't like waiting around for it, but realistically, it's a pretty good skill, isn't it? I'll put it there. Just above Lapis and just below Diamant. Spell Protection Veil. It's extremely similar to Alear's. All allied deal +1 damage and take 3 less damage. Spell Protection. But it's kind of better, I think, because you can set up for tanking rather than killing more easily with it. The extra 3 damage on the enemies is really good too. I'd say they're very similar levels, but I feel like Veil's is just a little bit better because setting up for that take 3 less damage on the opponent's turn is pretty good. Whereas Alear's requires a bit of positioning on your turn, which sometimes can make it difficult. But they're both really good. And Mauvier, if unit uses weight without attacking using items, grant defense +2 for 1 turn. Pretty trash, but it's not quite as good as Jade's in my opinion because she's a better tank and also the res is really nice for her. The defense is relevant, so and it's not that hard to get off. I'll put it here. Hey guys, so there is some more. I recorded this video without the DLC being announced, and the day after I recorded it, the Wave 4 DLC was put out and everything, and I was like, wow, wait, I should wait until the personal skills of any new characters and add them in at a later date once I played the DLC a bit and knew what the skills were, so this video would be more updated and complete with all the characters from Engage in it. So now I'll go over them, and I won't talk about any spoilery stuff. You might consider this spoilers, so if you haven't played the DLC and don't want to know anything about it, don't watch, but I won't say anything that's super spoilery. Nell's is protective, and if foe initiates combat against Nell, grants crit +10 to Nell for 1 turn. Now, Nell and Nil both have similar activations where they get crit +10 for 1 turn if something happens, and I wanted to check if that happens, can it happen multiple times? So if Nil gets attacked 3 times, will Nell get 30 crit? And that is no. You just get the standard 10 crit, which makes it kind of trash. I mean, +10 crit if specifically you've made Nil a unit which you want to be attacked on enemy phase? No. I mean, I guess you're going to want to use them together, but... and it's not like that hard to get off and you're going to get the crit, but it's going to have to be probably top of C. I think it's a pretty bad skill. It's 10 crit. It's C. It's in C. It's bad. That will slide in there. It will be in the bottom of C actually, because unfortunately I can't edit the tiers to put them in. But yeah, they're in that. Now for Nell, it's Wounded Pride, and it's when an ally within 2 spaces defeats a foe, grants crit +10 to unit for 1 turn. This is much better than Nell's because 1, you can control it on your turn and get the crit more easily, and an ally within 2 spaces rather than specifically Nil being hit for Nell's to activate. So better, but still not great. It's in B. Celestia's is Friendly Boost, and that's when a unit defeats a foe, grants hit +20 to allies within 2 spaces for 1 turn. Now, I actually think it's quite interesting and pretty good. A lot of the time, it won't make that much of a difference when you're just going around the map and whatnot, and requiring Celestia to kill a foe first, not great. However, when you're dealing with enemies who do have really high avoid, you can quite easily deliberately finish someone with Celestia, especially if you want to use L Surge, because, of the guaranteed hit, or just, an engage skill or whatever to guarantee Celestia getting the kill, and then making it much easier for the allies near her to get the hit +20. And with her class, being able to go around the map to a specific place where you need that, on the Melusine class, and also having the possible 3-range magic if needed, very, very useful. I'd put it in A, and it might be very useful against bosses too, where they... you maybe kill an enemy near the boss and then give hit +20 to everyone to hit the boss who has very high avoid. So yeah. Survival plan for Gregory, not bad, interesting. It's when there are more foes than allies within 3 spaces, grants avoid +20. See, I often like to send a unit off on their own, and getting that extra 20 avoid on their own, actually really good skill. But on Gregory, how great is it? I don't know. I haven't seen all of the classes and how they work on Gregory and how good they are, because the Sage class isn't really something you're going to want to be kind of basing around avoid and whatnot. That's not really the point of the class. But you might be able to reclass Gregory into a different class and utilize avoid better. With some, you know, I mean, even then, if he just has high speed and you just equip her, and you could maybe slap Corin's or someone else's, you know, an avoiding emblem signal, whatever they're called, on your weapon, and enhance it to make it, you know, viable with his skill. And I think, you know, it's pretty good. I'd put it in A as well. Knightly Code for Madeline is the final one I'll be talking about. And if foe initiates combat and unit is adjacent to ally, unit takes 2 less damage. It's basically just very similar to Jade and Louis in a way. It's all about taking 2 less damage, but it's better than Louis, guaranteed. So I'd say it's definitely an A. I wouldn't put it in an S, it's not that good, but just being adjacent to an ally rather than having 2 female allies within 2 spaces is much easier and consistent. And yeah, just unit takes 2 less damage. Why not? It's not a bad skill. It's easy to get off, and it makes it good tanking physical and magic attacks. So yeah, sure. Not bad for Madeline. And now I will switch back to my other clothes. Alright, I think I'm pretty happy with that list. Yeah. I'm sure many of you will massively disagree with me. Because I think, well, this is a controversial kind of list in a few places, because I've seen some other people's and they have not put the same things I have, but I wanted to, you know, do the things that I liked and what were good for my play, and the things I just thought were generally pretty strong on all difficulties. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed watching, and have a lovely rest of your day. Ciao.